Special guest, we would like Mr. Balami for Rice Affair. Mr. Balami Mitthawong จะมา share idea English.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and distinguished guests. It's all present right here. The Honorable Mayor Patrick Murphy, since left. Vice Chair Joseph Mendoza, City Councilor members, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, okay. Let me see. Born Lori, Rita, Vesna, he since left, but thank you very much. Mr. Bill Summers. And for all those others that I may inadvertently miss about these, but thank you very much for your time, to come here. I know on such a beautiful Saturday, we're over here. But freedom doesn't have any color, as the great councilwoman spoke. Freedom doesn't have color. Freedom is transcend race, creed, nationalities. So, on that note, it is an honor for me to join my friends and colleagues in the Lao American community of Massachusetts in welcoming you to the 9th commemoration of the Lao Heritage and Freedom flag under the auspices of the City Hall of Law in the Greater Commonwealth of Massachusetts. On the behalf of the Alliance for Democracy in Laos, I wish to thank the Lao American community of Massachusetts for giving ADL the privilege of co-sponsoring the event. I'm so happy and proud to be invited to preside over this cherished event. Mayor Murphy, 9 years ago, your City Hall and the people of Law had made it possible for us to fly our flag of freedom freely and openly in public. For this kind and noble act, please accept our deepest appreciation on behalf of freedom-loving Laotians worldwide, and on behalf particularly of our brothers and sisters inside Laos. Today, Laotians have come from across the world to host the flag which we have revered and cherished since birth, and to raise it high in the sky in this land called America, otherwise known as the land of freedom, which everyone esteems for. It's a beacon of hope for all the oppressed people of the world. So we thank you for giving us this opportunity, to allowing us to come, share, and build upon this great nation. Why this flag is so important to us? Why do we celebrate it year in and year out? Permit me by explaining briefly the meaning and design of the flag itself. The red background represents the courage of kings and people who built the unified kingdom made up of 68 ethnic races who together defended and protected from outside invaders for more than 6 centuries. The white color represents the purity and beauty of the land and its culture. The white parasol at the top signifies the 7 levels of human being must climb spiritually in order to reach the pinnacle that represents heaven and the Mount Mira, which is in essence the heaven in the Hindu mythology. The center of the universe. The white parasol is the royal Lao emblem. The 5-tier pedestals on which the elephant stands represents the law and moral principles that form the foundation of the kingdom. Which, by the way, is pretty much founded the basic part of the 10 Commandments. The central feature consists of 3 elephants' heads, symbolizing the abundance of elephants in the land. Hence, the traditional name of the country, Lan Sa, or the land of million elephants. The joining together of 3-headed elephants depicts the unity of 3 principles: Luang Prabang in the north, Vientiane in the middle, and Champasak in the south. The elephant, according to our culture, is a source of wisdom, strength, and benevolence. Since the Lao communists took over power and control of the country in 1975 and replaced the legitimate constitutional monarchy with the single-party Stalinist regime, this beloved flag has taken on a sad and tragic significance. When the communist dictators did away with this flag in Laos, they took away all the decent Lao human values that it stood for. Tens of thousands of Laotians, including the king, queen, crown prince, and other members of the royalty, ministers, and other high-ranking members of the royal regime, the civil servants, the military, and the police, and civilians were rounded up systematically and carted off into concentration camps, so-called re-education camps. There, many perished under brutal prison conditions, torture, and death. Most are still missing and accounted for. Many of you that are present here at one time or another suffer in those re-education camps. My father himself was in there before he left. Today, the political upheavals and horrors of the concentration camps terrorize some 10% of the population. More than 300,000 escape into the neighboring countries, seeking safety and freedom of other countries, breaking up families and communities like never before. The rest of the populace who remain were stripped of their basic human rights, including their freedom of speech, assembly, association, and freedom of the press, things that we all in the United States take for granted. Today, as we speak today, the Lao Communist Party, which represents less than 2% of the population, controls all the political life from the national government down to the village authority. The people cannot elect their own leaders and choose their own government because there is no freedom. There's no separation of powers. All political decisions are made by a handful of oligarchs in the Communist Politburo. Political opposition and dissenting opinions are absolutely forbidden. Dissents are systematically subjected to intimidation, enforced disappearance, arbitrary arrest, incognito detention, trial and imprisonment without due process of law. And starvations, sickness and torture and execution in prison is systematically done to all opponents of the regime, real or imagined. Despite the regime's integration into the international community, the abuse and violation of basic human rights for the people continue unabated in contravention of UN treaties and conventions to which Laos is a signatory. On December 15, 2012, Mr. Sombat Somphone, an internationally recognized Lao civil society leader and movement specialist who is well loved by the people, was abducted by the police under the glare of the government's own closed-circuit TV. He has not been seen or heard from since. His enforced disappearance has led to outrage and concern from the international community, including the United Nations, the European Union, NGOs across the world, and our own Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, or rather former, as well as John Kerry, has inquired into the whereabouts of Sombat Somphone. Yet, to this day, the regime in Laos denied there were such things. In addition to having their rights trampled upon for nearly 4 decades, the people of Laos remain the poorest in Asia. The country is among the least developed in the world, while the communist leaders are building their personal wealth on large-scale foreign-owned plantations, mining operations, mega dams, to which rob the people of their land and livelihood and destroy the environment in the process. So in essence, what that means in real terms is that Laotians are prisoners in their own country. Ladies and gentlemen, the three-headed elephant flag has a greater meaning for our Laotians now than ever before. The Laotians in Laos it inspires their hope and dreams for salvation from the evil tyranny towards restoration of the freedom, justice, and human kindness of age gone, but is still longed for. For Laotians scattered all over the globe, it is our sacred bond with the gentleness of our native land, our centuries-old culture, and our love for our less fortunate brothers and sisters back home. It fuels our efforts to bring peaceful change that will fulfill their democratic aspirations. For more than 6 centuries since King Phagmum the Great founded the kingdom of Lan Sang in the year 1353, this flag, which has the soulmate of the kingdom, which is the soulmate of the kingdom and its people, has never ceased to flutter high atop its pole through all the foreign invasions and the devastations of war. When the Lao communists took this flag down in Laos, they thought they had put out the fire of Lao freedom for good. But they thought wrong. It is the city of law that has proven them wrong.
They are wrong. They are wrong.
Today, the Lao freedom flag is flying high and free in Lowell, Massachusetts. Tomorrow, as we fervently hope, it will be proudly further all over the United States. Mr. Bear, council members, that is why we celebrate our freedom flag today. We Laotians landed on American shores. We found not only shelter, we also found freedom, which gave us the opportunity to build, or rather rebuild our lives for the better, to better the lives for our children and grandchildren. Our standard living now stands abreast the rest of the civilized world. At the same time, we are tirelessly striving to bring the same freedom and same opportunity to the oppressed people of Laos. America is indeed the land of opportunity, because America is free. Long live freedom! That is why we keep on memorializing our Lao freedom flag. Like the flames that keep on burning and shining at the Arlington National Cemetery in honor of those who have fought and died in the name of freedom. Lao Americans and other Laotians around the world will keep the flames of freedom burning in Laos. On behalf of my organization, the Alliance for Democracy in Laos, and on behalf of my fellow Laotian democracy activists worldwide, including the Lao American community of Massachusetts, I am honored to uphold our debt of gratitude for the generosity of American people and wisdom of the American government. May God bless you. May God bless the city of Lowell. May God bless the United States and Laos. Thank you very much.